You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AFTERBUZZ TV's Chasing Maria Menounos After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Chasing Maria Menounos After Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to AFTERBUZZ. This is a huge show for us, of course. This is our boss's show, the best show on TV.
Excited.
Chasing Maria Menounos. I am Roxy Striar, alongside Jesse Janedy.
What's up?
Stephanie Bauer.
Hey, girl.
Jessica King.
Hi.
And very special guest in tonight, Joe Gear.
Hey guys, thanks for
Hey, the show. And we got to see you tonight, and we're going to get to see you more throughout the show. And as my mic levels go up and down, so does this music, and I picture the chair coming and falling. It's very celebratory, just like we see tonight.
Okay.
Hoppa! Amazing. Amazing. Okay, so guys, I need to know, and thank you, Phil Svitek in the booth, for helping us out and giving us that music.
Phil in the booth.
In the booth. I need to know original thoughts on this show. We just watched it for the first time with all of you at home. What are we thinking? Is it weird to see these people we know and love so well on TV? And how do we think this season is going to go?
It was the sexy, like, okay, it
Oh
wasn't
my God.
sexy.
Sexy time.
But the sexy time is like watching my mom and dad, like,
A little much when they're talking about doing it behind the closed doors when the parents are there. I'm like, I feel like the parents, I don't want to be there. And
This will only take a few seconds.
That was the way you like covered her mouth.
I know.
I had heard, we've heard them on Howard Stern before, so
Yeah.
I've heard worse than this, but I've never seen in comparison to where the parents' door is and
Yeah.
their door. I love how they did the camera pan. Like, they are close. Like,
And
really
let me
close.
just say, living with Greeks will walk all up in your bedroom, not knock on the door. So I was just waiting for Costa Lisa to just walk up in there and be like,
Sexy
time's over.
We haven't seen the whole season, so I'm positive that will happen
I'm
by
sure.
the end.
Who's going to do it?
Definitely Costa. He's going to walk in. He already is
Yeah.
trying to push the marriage. I'm sure he's going to sit there and be like, come on, guys.
Here's how you do it.
Let me show you how it's done.
Lighting the candles,
Absolutely.
playing the music downstairs.
putting some John Legend on.
So are we impressed? I know that people are thinking right now that we can't give our honest opinion on the show because we might get fired. That is not true. We have been told to be as brutally honest as we possibly can. But I thought it was amazing. So what are you guys thinking?
I thought it was great, and especially compared to the promos, not to like hate on the promos, but I saw the promos, I was like, oh, I don't really know what to expect. I don't know how they're going to turn things, how they're going to make us,
Right.
you know, I'm like, obsessed with Maria and Kevin, but I was like, how are they going to make us like really want to watch? And this first episode, they nailed it. I'm like, want more. It was like over before I even knew, 30 minutes. I wish it was an hour, but we see a lot of reality shows that will go unnamed that are so staged and so scripted, and I didn't get that vibe at all.
Well,
At
we
all,
know
at
this
all.
is real because we know some of these storylines.
Oh, yeah.
We live it.
Absolutely.
We were there for some of them.
Absolutely.
And I mean, it's crazy because I feel like this should be almost an hour show because watching the episode, knowing like that's all we
so
saw
much,
from the
yeah.
birthday party.
I know.
So much tea on the birthday party.
Like that was an epic birthday party.
It was amazing,
Yes.
100%. We're going to get into it because we actually happen to be attendees of the birthday party. We have some fun pictures to show you, but before we do that, I want to get to our guest, Joe. I just want to ask you overall, because this is a new experience for you. I mean, what was it like filming the show? And even more importantly, what is it like watching yourself? Is that just so bizarre?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. At first, it started out with the cameras, it was like, I've never been a part of that, so it's like, wait a minute. But by the end, it's like, hey, get me on the camera.
Now you're missing the cameras?
Come on. No, I think I'm satisfied.
Absolutely.
I think I'm satisfied for now.
And watching yourself, were you like, oh, is that how I said? What do I look like?
Yeah, Joe, come
Are
on.
you
How awkward
overly-
was it to watch yourself?
Are you overly critical of yourself?
Yeah. I was kind of freaked out. I was like, how are they gonna edit this together? And but it was all right.
It's weird to look underneath and it says Kevin's friend and security because you're so part of their family that putting a classification under there is almost strange.
Yeah, well, I'm Maria's friend too.
Of course you are. Of course you are. So just so everybody knows, how do you know them and how close are you guys really? Obviously you live there, but...
Right. Well, I've been friends with Kevin for over 20 years, and obviously I've known Maria since they, got together 16 years ago, and we all lived together in a basement, back in the early days, so we're pretty close,
And now you live together out here.
Yeah.
And living in this place is like a madhouse, ? I mean...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's always...
I mean, it more is like an exclamation point.
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of getting along with everybody? Are there moments where you're fighting with Lisa and Costa? Or are you just there because it says Kevin's friend? You're saying you're Maria's friend. Are you everybody's friend? You're everybody's security?
Well, I am everybody's friend and security, but living in the same house with everybody, it gets crowded.
Just a
tad.
That alone time.
Absolutely, as we all have experienced.
Right.
So where is your door? Is it right next?
I have the best setup. It's on its own side. I got my own door to sneak in and out of and just get away
Wait,
from
aren't you
everybody.
technically below Costa and Lisa?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, so my radio and TV are full blast. I don't want to know nothing going on.
Little do we know. Oh my gosh.
TV.
Now you're gonna get a knock from upstairs when the music's too loud.
Yeah.
Keep it down there.
Room on the... Oh my
Yeah, right, exactly.
I can only imagine it now. But let's talk about tonight's episode because we know we have this amazing season ahead. We're really excited for it. But tonight, we start with this birthday party, which is bizarre because we don't see that long of it. And like you're saying, I almost feel like the episode could have been an hour. I mean, there was so much just drama and fun and awesomeness at this party alone between getting ready and being there and everything. What do you guys feel like we were missing, or do you feel like they did an okay job capturing the whole event?
No.
We started at like what time in the morning?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Exactly.
10?
She said she's
Maria
been
was
twice.
drunk by 2. The party started at 7. So we missed a lot of stuff.
What do you mean we started though? So what was the day? What was leading up to this?
We got there and we was just setting up for the party, having a good old time by the pool,
drinks.
some appetizers. We're Greeks, we know how to work and we know how to,
Set
get
up.
it together. And we did that very well.
And then the actual party.
So
which,
that's so PC. Like,
I know.
You know.
The actual party goes till 4 a.m. And what I think the biggest thing we were missing was what Costa was doing on the dance floor was only seen for a
did go to
split
4.
second. I mean, he was literally breaking it down.
Yeah.
You couldn't have missed him from anywhere. Like, this man knows how to have fun, which is why it's so bizarre that we didn't see. I mean, there's just so much in their lives that we just couldn't get to everything at the party. What are you guys thinking about the party?
This party, just from working in like the news industry, this party, like all the celebrities know that Maria throws a birthday party. Stars are going to go. It's going to be crazy. They go all out. I mean, like the money they must spend on this one party is insane. They deck out like the bars and the dancing and the music.
Animals
deck
there were like
there.
fire
There's-
dancers.
yeah, fire dancers.
Monkeys,
like all this crazy stuff.
That was
Yeah.
weird.
I mean, they didn't even show that. Like Maria has like a snake on her, and like they really go out for this party. And the next day we'll see it on TMZ. I can't remember if it was it this party or the last party where Mel Gibson was there.
That was
last
last
party.
one.
Both.
But-
he came to both. And
Right, but
Yeah,
the
but
last
the-
one was the
The
one.
When he
the
was-
one.
yeah.
I mean, her parties make it to the news the next morning.
Yeah.
They're
Epic.
that amazing.
Like, there's no other way to describe it. It's just epic.
But for you guys, I mean, there's no drama ever at the parties. There's no reality show drama. At least not that I see.
the drama
Jesse's
was
like, wait a minute.
I was behind the booth, so I didn't really see too much drama. But I know, was it that part? I can't remember, Joe. You was yelling at somebody.
Who were you yelling at?
But we have so many parties, I
people.
can't remember if it was that night.
Sometimes it's hard because I do remember there. You try not to have drama, but when you have somebody as famous as Maria, there are going to be some people. There's going to be, we try not to have the press there, but sometimes things happen, or some of the bartenders, maybe they're too big of fans, things like
that. The booze is free flowing,
of course. And absolutely that. We think a lot of people can hold their alcohol, but not everybody can.
You never know.
Luckily, Maria is one of them until the next morning, which we'll get to after we look at some pictures from the party. If Phil can help
can we
us.
talk about how tipsy Maria was that night?
Yeah, she was tipsy.
twice.
She was literally my boyfriend's like, she's bouncing from person to person. She bounced by.
No, but she was so hammered, right? But by the end of the night, she does this every year, is she gets on the surfboard. And she can balance herself on a surfboard tipsy.
Yeah, the guys are bringing out Derek Huff and Joe, and they all hoist her up. It's like her thing, and it's amazing every time you see it.
And it's themed luau, in case you couldn't tell. So this is Jesse there, and he stepped out from the DJ booth, obviously, for a second. What else we got, Phil? The beautiful Maria.
That was her
If
with
you
her
guys-
lay.
Right now, if you're listening on iTunes, you might want to switch over to some visual YouTube AfterBuzz.
Her outfit was killing it.
Yeah.
Did she shoot In Shape magazine right after this?
I know.
What?
Or like before, probably even while she was drunk. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding.
Like all the other girls.
That's Alyssa, her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All the
From
girls
Boston.
know not to show up in a bathing suit because you just can't
because
even.
no way.
She's gonna rock it. You can't
No
even
way. Doesn't matter if I've gone to the gym every day that year. No way. All right, what else? Oh, and her beautiful mother, so cute.
This is
Lisa
like
is so
inside the
pretty.
house getting ready. You could tell Maria's hair is still like fresh and perfect.
And Maria did something really nice. She had a bunch of people over beforehand, and she had them all get their hair and makeup done at the house, which was really cute. We didn't get to see much of that. You saw a little bit, but it was really, she goes all out. This is such a huge event for her, and she's so generous. What, Jesse?
Shout out to Courtney. Shout out to Courtney Stewart.
Why shout out to Courtney?
Sorry,
Stewart?
it's such an inside joke.
No inside jokes here.
no
Get out of
inside
here.
I'm just kidding. I know
Bye.
she's gonna be real mad
Bye.
because she was caught on that camera
guys didn't see her
before
in
the
the beginning?
makeup.
Oh my God.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, I did not see.
I didn't
She had a little
see.
scarf on. She's
Oh,
cute.
beautiful, Courtney, another AfterBuzz TV host.
you
Because
go.
we don't have inside jokes here. We want to include you on the inside. That's why we are doing this AfterBuzz show, to let you guys in. What
Yeah,
else?
Jesse.
What else? Oh, and of course,
Espresso.
that's not the only time we see him in tonight's
Uh-huh.
episode, which we can get to. Okay. And the
See, I loved
Kardashians,
seeing
of
Chloe, but I
course.
loved seeing
snake.
Chris. Yeah.
I love seeing the snake.
It was
So
good.
Kardashians, I can see the animals in here. I love it. And of course the surfboard,
There you
as we
go,
talk about, she'll be
surfboard.
on it later. But
Surfboard.
Maria does the photo booth for everybody so everyone can take pictures. It's great.
and with the Patron
Look at Pat.
sponsor,
Look at
yeah.
Pat's face.
And Pat, who's on the show, of course. So
He's
maybe
Maria's assistant.
we'll just play those in the background for a little bit so we can move on. I know they're amazing, all with her dad. So anyway, we have the next day. And
There's Mel.
Mel Gibson,
and
Terrell.
Mel. There is Mel. Oh,
Yeah, they had so many celebrities at this thing, and they didn't show
I know,
hardly
there was
any
so
of them
many
on the
people
show.
there.
because it's hard to pick, when Maria's such a star that of course she has celebrity friends because that's who she's working with. Do you have friends at work? Yeah, you're my friend from work. This is work. You guys are my friends. So like, who do you pick and choose to show? Obviously, a lot of her friends are going to be in the business, and that's not the biggest part of her life. She's not always trying to brag. Like, look who I know. Of course not.
That's a great point because I love going to Maria's house, especially for these parties, because it's never a huge thing. Who did I see there?
some A-list.
Yeah, she was just a singer, and Lisa Loeb.
Lisa Loeb.
Literally walked by me, and it's no big thing. And Terrell Owens comes up and says, "Hi, Stephanie, my boyfriend about had a heart attack." He goes, "That's Terrell Owens." At Maria's house, it's just all family and friends, right, Joe? I mean, she's
Absolutely.
got these A-listers coming in and out. It's just friends. It's no big deal.
And it's
You
so
wouldn't even know
low-key,
Donald
right.
Trump was in the corner.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally.
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 Well, actually, and it happens all the time. So I think that's probably why once they got the vibe of her, left, right, and oxygen, when they get the vibe of who Maria is, the last thing they want to do is just put a bunch of celebrities' faces on here. If we wanted to do that, we could, as you guys were trying to go through TMZ or whatever we wanted to do.
And they had the footage to do so because they were there all night.
Okay.
They
Oh,
could
yeah.
have totally
Absolutely.
flaunted
Oh,
that.
Joe, you're
They
so
didn't
cute.
even catch what happened in the pool afterwards.
Yeah, so Maria will always jump in the pool. Everybody jumps in the pool. This is where Joe's like on guard. He's like, "Oh my God, who's gonna do
Yeah,
something?
at
Who's
5 in
gonna
the
find
morning.
I'm sorry.
When Lisa starts putting the grill
I
out.
was just about to say they
Right?
make hamburgers and hot dogs.
good.
Their
Awesome.
family's they're such caretakers.
So,
That's why it's
yeah.
nice to have mom and dad around, because at 5 o'clock in the morning, they cook for you.
She's an unbelievable cook too.
Yeah.
Yes.
She definitely needed them to cook for her the next day when she wakes up and has the hangover from hell. Guilty of being there before. I know you all are too, probably even after this. I mean, she's lying there in bed with Kevin. It's a little weird for us. We're watching them.
weird.
Yeah.
He's taking care, and her voice seems to be a little gone, which is important to later on in the season, obviously. And what are we sitting here thinking? I mean, how is she able to be hungover and then be like, you know what? I have to get all of this stuff done, so let me just put this hangover to the side, which is basically what she does.
Well, I loved that scene because that showed Kevin's personality, and she even said, Kevin's such a caretaker. He's like the wife in the relationship, and I'm the husband. And that is so Kevin. Like, he takes care of all of us. He's always looking out for you, like, always putting himself last. Like, he walked with Maria to the bathroom. Like, he could have easily been like, I'm hungover too, you know, like, have fun. So,
Absolutely.
even though, like, it is kind of weird for us to see Maria and Kevin, like touchy-feely,
No,
but
it's cute.
it's so cute.
But we also, like, it's funny. We don't even, like, I don't know, like, because I look at them, they are our mentors and, like, parent figures to us, you know. It's I don't look at them, I don't know, like, in the sense of how young they are, you know. Like, of course they're gonna be doing all that stuff, but it's just like I put them in that box.
I know.
And it's like, okay,
I know, absolutely.
a little bit awkward.
How did she get the bruise or the scar?
I'm trying to think
Joe?
what
I
she
don't
did.
remember.
Wait, did they?
Stumbling.
No, there was no
Come
basketball.
on,
that night.
security. You should fix her from that stuff.
Every year I gotta catch her while she's falling.
Happy birthday
and I'm right
year.
there.
But it's not all of the time. She just kind of celebrates that one big night of
Everyone
year.
That's the
should
one
get
day
to go all out
of
on
the
it.
year that she tears it up like that and
Yeah, but
has
it-
fun.
Yeah, she does have the occasional beer though. She has fun other times, but that's the time
quite
that
like
we're
that.
hitting the floor. Exactly.
No, that was spawn to kill.
Yeah,
To kill, get you on a surfboard.
to kill you.
Right.
And a bruise.
When you're sponsored by Patron, it is a little bit tough not to get to kill you. So I'm just thinking what it's like though, waking up in this house and being this hungover, and then having to deal with your entire family all the time, kind of breathing down your neck and wondering what the next step is. And as she's saying, she is providing for all of them, and that is a real pressure. You know, we can watch this, we can laugh about it because it is funny to laugh and watch them, and they always make light of the situation. But this is a real thing, you know, when you are feeling the weight of pulling in the money, doing so much work. Not that everybody isn't pulling their weight, but you know, you are making the paychecks and you need to do this for everybody. So what do we think about her family dynamic right now? I know it's weird because it's hard to talk about what we watch on TV and how she is with her parents versus when we see them in person or whatnot. But I really think that they did an amazing job capturing the relationships of her with her parents and with Kevin and with Joe and Rachel and everybody else. I mean, we see that this is real. They want her to get married. They want her to have babies. We know that's true. It happens all the time. They make little comments about it.
Right.
How are you feeling for Maria, and what should she do here?
I think it's great. I mean, as Stephanie mentioned earlier, first off, I love that they dove right into it from the beginning, because
Right.
a lot of reality shows kind of just brush over the surface of things, especially the first episode. But I think it's really important for, you know, like, we know a lot of that stuff is going on, but Maria has so many fans out there that, like, see her as, you know, a single woman, or she's with Kevin. But for a long time, Kevin, like, kind of shied away from a lot of that stuff. And so a lot of people are going through that same thing, like career or family. So I think it's great to be able to see that, to relate to her on that level and see that she's getting the same pressures as a lot of other people.
Absolutely. What are you guys thinking about it?
Well, she mentioned that it's a family business, so I feel like even though she is making all the money, she's like, you know, who's going to take care of everyone if I don't get out of bed even when I'm hungover? But she also used the term family business, so it's like, Joe's watching over everyone. Mom and dad are cooking, make sure she has food on the table when she gets home. Kevin's doing like everything. So I think the whole jive works for them, but I know there's got to be a lot of pressure because also girls on TV, they don't want to take time off to have a baby because another girl is going to come right in and take your job.
Absolutely.
So that's a pressure. I mean, it's not only the paycheck, but it's like, oh, I might not be the host of Extra anymore. You know, having a baby at a certain age is got to be, really hard for someone on TV.
She said finances, that's the biggest thing that she's scared about. She feels she's the breadwinner in the family.
Right.
And, at the end of the day, the thing is Maria's Greek. So to watch this is like,
You're a resident
I'm Greek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like I live with my parents, my grandparents, they all lived in the same house as me. And so I feel like for Maria, it's not, it almost brings a comfortability factor, right?
Right.
Living with everyone?
So I think it's more kind of bringing Kevin into it, who's not Greek, who Kevin's kind of, a soul ranger. He's always, kind of done for his own. And for him to come into this nest, Kevin loves family and all that stuff. But I can totally imagine, I can never imagine someone who is not Greek or, to move into my house with my family. They don't understand the back and forthness. Religion is a huge factor. It's just a different world, and they're very old school. And there's a lot of stubborn things that come with that. So I definitely relate to Maria, and I feel you, girl.
Well, absolutely. I know what you're saying, and it would be hard to walk into this, but he's not really walking into it. He's been there for 15 years. He's sitting there, you know?
Joe,
but he wasn't living with the parents.
Okay, they all lived in the basement, but Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. You're
it
one of
down.
the very few people that has known them when they got together because you're Kevin's friend. So what was it like when they first got together? Were her parents like, this guy, or did they want them to get married like that?
That's why we pay you the big bucks. Good
I'm like dying to know how it was in the very, very beginning, like literally the instance that they met.
It was a little rough because Kevin wasn't Greek. And, I don't want to get too much into it, but
Tell us. Family.
Tell us everything.
No, but it was rough. It's been rough.
It was very rough.
Since the beginning.
But Kevin's so dedicated to her and loves her so much that anything, Greek or anything, he just would go along with it.
Yeah.
And it was rough in the beginning, to say the least. But it's kind of.
And it got easier as they went along, or is this still something that's kind of rough?
Well, in the beginning, all they had was each other. Because everybody kind of walked away from them.
Right.
And they still have each other. So now it's letting everybody back in and making the peace and.
Yeah, Kevin mentioned in the car, I think he said, we've always done things our way. If we didn't, we wouldn't still be together. So clearly you know that. And we'll probably see more of this as the episodes go along. But I really thought it was interesting. He thought a lot of people in Hollywood wanted you to be with an A-lister. And I'm sure she interviews Mark Wahlberg and George Clooney. And all
There's
these
rumors
people.
about her being with them all the time.
Oh, of course.
Exactly.
How could
Vin
there not
Diesel,
be?
that
Because
whole
she's
thing.
hot.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure in the beginning it was like, I want to be, famous, get with one of the guys I'm interviewing because I'm this hot smoking reporter. Everybody
She very
wants
well
to see
could
that
have.
almost,
Exactly.
right?
Every single A-lister has hit on her, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah.
'Cause she's a little hottie.
But she knows, that would come and go. And Kevin's there for life,
Absolutely.
It's so funny. Okay, so I grew up in Somerville Church. Maria was in the choir, and I remember when Maria moved out to LA and everyone was talking about anything Maria was on. I was like, turn on Channel 4. She's on the Pantene Pro V commercial. Turn on. She's on Ellen. She's this, and it was like this Maria hype through all the Greeks. The churches were ringing about Maria. Everyone, we got our Maria signed
newsletter.
picture. No, it was this was huge for Greeks
Absolutely.
in Massachusetts.
Absolutely.
We finally have a beautiful Greek
someone
on
to root for.
TV who's down to earth and who we can relate to.
Absolutely.
George Stephanopoulos.
Now you got a call every time you saw Maria on TV, then you would never be off of your phone because it would be literally impossible because she is freaking everywhere.
And nobody does that to me anymore. So, but literally, my grandma would call me from downstairs, turn on the TV. Maria's on Ellen or Maria's on Entertainment Tonight. And so I remember when the Vin Diesel thing happened, everyone was like, we heard about Maria. She's living with Vin Diesel.
Wait, even the family was saying that?
Family, church,
Everyone.
it was just this huge rumor about the Vin Diesel thing. Then it switched from Vin Diesel to now she's with this guy. It wasn't anybody. It was
This guy who shall remain anonymous.
You're talking
they're-
15 years ago.
ready? And they're living together. What? It was just everyone knew about it. It was the Greek. It was sent out in the Herald the Sunday newsletter.
What's crazy about that, Jesse, is this guy is actually, he was a head writer of MTV.
Yeah.
People forget sometimes that Kevin has had an amazing career, continues to have an amazing career.
But he wasn't Greek.
But he wasn't Greek.
But he wasn't Greek. He was
guy.
non-Greek. She was living in a house with him, and it was what? I just can never remember that. And then to meet Kevin and see their relationship, it was like, y'all are bugging.
Yeah.
Because this is what love is to me. Like seeing their relationship and the way they work. Like,
didn't she say, I think it was in her book, that she like fell in love with him immediately, like seeing him behind the camera and stuff, and he did not give her the time of day because she was like younger, right? Didn't that happen? Oh yeah, hello. That happened. Wasn't she like,
Ask the expert.
I think she was like falling all over herself, and he was just like,
Kevin told the story.
They kind of, yeah, right. They kind of fell in love right off the bat. Both of them. I don't know what she's talking about. Kevin didn't, but I could tell, that was a done deal.
Wait, I think he told me
He
that.
I know
It wasn't
exactly
in the
what
book.
you're talking
He told me
I
that.
don't know, he's fluffing
We'll
it down.
let Kevin talk because he has some extra adjectives that he
Yeah.
adds to that story.
Right.
So when he comes in, we'll let him.
But
tell
the
it.
thing is to see them, so in love 16 years later. You don't, sometimes the flame dies out, but
Yeah.
they're very well connected still.
Absolutely. It's interesting that you say that because when I was watching tonight, I was wondering if I could tell just as a viewer how in love they really are. And I don't think you really can because when we look at all these other shows, it's always every second, like looking at each other, I love you, I love you, I love you, like tackling each other with love. But they're so confident and independent and so in love that they don't need to always smother each other. They respect each other enough. There's never been a time where one's doubted the other's feelings for, I just think that it's really cool. And I think it's important for everybody to know how clearly in love they are. If 15 years doesn't tell you that enough, then maybe my words will. Who knows?
I mean, and that's the thing. It's crazy that 15 years that they can be together and have a friendship. And that I love that this is being shown on TV because it's like you get something that, these love shows where it's like these people fall in love with each other instantly and it lasts a year or a year and a half. And it's like because they're so enthralled in each other and all you do is see that passion, but you never see the continuing part. You never see what's after the happy ending. And I feel like when you watch Kevin and Maria, you see the happy ending and it's friendship. And that's what
and I
it
love
is.
that she was like, for us, like we are married. Like we don't need like the ceremony and the court and whatnot. Like when you're not married, it's so easy to break up, you don't have to go through like the divorce and whatnot. So like going 15, 16 years, like that's true love. Like
when you live together, though, it's a little different than if you just weren't married and you were,
Right.
But absolutely.
Can we talk about how these two are together like 24
All the
hours
time.
a day,
Yes.
Joe? Right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That they work together. They live together. They're always together, and just to still be in love.
But that's crazy.
It would drive me
business
crazy.
partners,
They're together all day.
But that's
Exactly.
The thing is, though, they're so in love, and that love drives their success and their focus. They're working together all of the time. But some people question, as we see on tonight's episode, why that love doesn't translate into having a child. Traditionally, that is what you do. You fall in love, you get married, and you have kids. I am not personally speaking for this, but Jesse, I'm sure you can, especially in your Greek culture. That's what happens. Yes?
In that order.
In that order. Don't you dare mess that up. And we hear Costa tonight, and he says, what life means is marriage and have a family. Like, that is what he thinks. And I'm sure he is proud. I know he is proud of Maria and all that she's accomplished. And she talks about how she's the only person to ever interview the Obamas formally and all of these people and all of these things that she's done. But it's not enough to them. It's not enough. And I sit here and I think, she's amazing. Everything, that's the life that I want to have. And I know we have some different levels right now of being pregnant versus not pregnant, to say specifically. Amazing host over here, baby on the way. But I'm just thinking, like, how do you do this with your career? And is that everything? And does it mean as much as her parents think it means?
Well, it always makes me, I hear Maria say this about her dad all the time. He said, nothing matters but family. And she says it in his accent and it like makes me choke up. And so when he was choking up on camera, I get it. But doesn't he see that this is her family? You're her family. That's her family. She has a family. So
No.
he really just wants grandkids.
Yeah, that doesn't
So he
mean
just
anything.
wants biological
At the end of the day,
grandkids.
because here's the thing, because my family does the same thing. Literally just went back and they were crying because you're not going to get grandkids. But the thing is, they're so old school that they don't understand the fact that Joe is family. That AfterBuzz, like we are. I think I can speak for everyone at this table. Like Kevin is like a father to me. Like, you know, Maria, like they're our parents. Like
they invite us to Thanksgiving dinner.
So many children already. It's like.
And the babies, the dogs, you know?
And the dogs on top of it, you know.
Absolutely.
So it's like I think that the family is starting to see it because they're always around us and seeing the love and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, what sits in the back of an old Greek's head is the fact that this can all go away. All of this, that can just, in a hurricane and anything, can all go away. And the only thing you will have is your family, your immediate family, blood-related family. You can say, yes, and I'm speaking in terms of them. Yes, you have AfterBuzz, yes, you have that, but they have their own families, and they will go to their families. You need to create your own.
But what I love about them is the fact that a lot of the people that are at AfterBuzz or that they relate to don't really have their own families. They come out here, they're 3,000 miles away from home, they have nobody, and Kevin and Maria and Joe and Lisa and Costa and everybody who lives there, they say, come to my home, be with us,
be part of
our family. And that is, it's so welcoming and open, and I do hear what you're saying.
It's a home away from home.
Yeah, that's true.
But
that is
their
true.
home is just everybody's.
Well, because no matter what, I do not have their blood in me. You know, their blood does not run through me.
That's very important.
That's very important to the Greeks, which is a lot of pressure to put on somebody who is already feeling a lot of different pressures coming from work, you know, and all different works and her side projects and extra and all these things that we see she's doing in WWE and working out all the time. I mean, it's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. Do we feel like that's fair?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think they would ever adopt? How would the parents feel about that?
They'd be for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know, as you'll see with the problems on getting pregnant, I don't know how much I can say, but
Well,
that's the alternative. You know, they just want, you know, marriage and babies. However you want to give it to them.
yeah,
They'll take
absolutely. And speaking
But in
about
that order.
that,
Exactly.
and you can't say it enough. Speaking about that, I mean, you're not spoiling anything really for us because we see that there might potentially be an issue getting pregnant when we find out tonight that Kevin and Maria have been having unprotected sex for
over a year.
Yes. And there hasn't
Again, I know, right?
Earmuffs. I know, but I mean, that means that there could potentially be a problem. And I thought it was really interesting that Maria said she almost felt like subconsciously she was trying to get pregnant on accident.
I feel like she said that and was like, wow, I just said that out loud.
I know.
Crazy.
She wasn't even thinking about it, and then she said that. It does seem like the way that the show is going about it, that Maria is more interested in having children than Kevin is.
Yeah.
What do we think about that?
What I think is she said, she goes, no matter what, we're on the same page. We're on the same page. We're on the same page. But are they?
But are you? It's a good question.
Ooh, what you think? What you think over there, Joe? Because I was going to say my opinion, but I really want to hear yours.
No, go. Feel free.
Joe will get in trouble. Kevin.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like because, you know, Maria, I totally understand what Kevin's saying. You know, he dropped everything to work with Maria, and he wants to get back to his passion and his love. And Kevin will be the first to say, we are his family. He doesn't need no one. He's got us.
Exactly.
With Maria, she says the same exact thing. However, the only difference is that Maria is a female. I can't speak for a female, but I do, through conversations with females, that when they do hit a certain age, that it does start running in their mind. They do start thinking about it. They want that urge. It's like a motherly thing. So
There's
can't imagine.
so much pressure.
Yeah,
too.
biologically.
Right. Yeah. There's so much pressure in so many different aspects because it's like you want to keep pressing forward with your career, you know, but the second that you hear that there could potentially be any sort of problem, like that doctor was like rattling off, she's like, it could be this and this and this and this, like you freak out and it kind of like consumes your mind. And you know, like Maria said, like if it came to the point where they missed their window, she would totally regret it. So it's like she's torn, you know. But then again, with what Kevin said, I agree with him also. Like now's his time. He wants to kind of get back into filmmaking and make more time for that. So it's like he doesn't want to fall back when he's ready to push forward. So it's hard. It's definitely like having a baby changes everything forever, you know? So it's just like,
yeah, there's somebody you have to provide for.
What did you think when Rachel, who's her best friend, she came over and she said, every major actor in Hollywood has kids and doesn't regret it.
Reese Witherspoon.
But if you think about it, all those women who have kids, for the most part, in their career have sort of, I can't say everybody because there are exceptions, have kind of taken a step back. And I think it's because when you do have the child, the things in life that were important to you aren't as important.
Right. Well, here, I mean, Maria didn't really say it on camera, but I know what she's wanting to say is these actresses, they work for 2 months and then have 6 months off. It's as simple as that. And they make a paycheck.
True, though.
I mean, that's it. Meryl Streep said the other day, she's like, I have kids because I can be home with them. I go shoot a movie and I come back and I'm home for 8 months out of the year. That is never going to happen with
Maria's on camera every day next to Mario Lopez.
Yeah.
So,
it's just not gonna, it's just like not gonna happen.
Of course,
but I mean, so Rachel has a really valid point that, like, well, Oprah's never had kids, but like Beyonce has a baby, but she can take her baby with her every day. She has Jay-Z. Like it's just different. Maria has to report the news every day, and she has to be out there working.
But you also have people who like Heidi Klum or Brooke Burke or people that have like multiple kids and have been doing it for year after year and are still in the spotlight all the time. Like, I mean, there's definitely different sides to it, but like, I agree with you that Maria is so busy that something would probably have to give for some sort of amount of time.
And personality-wise, I see, even though Maria's like, oh, I'm going to go, I feel like when she saw that baby.
She's everything. She's so hands-on with everything she does. We know she wouldn't be able to separate her for a minute, And I think that a lot of these big names, they have almost, not that their careers are going down, but they've almost plateaued. They've made a name for themselves. Maria's always on the rise. She's always looking to rise. And it's bizarre that we start this episode off with her 35th birthday, and then we hear the doctor say, at 35. Like, that is you now. And I think the difference that you were talking about, Jesse, between men and women is that is a reality for women, that after the age of 35, it becomes more difficult to get pregnant and you can have more problems with your pregnancy. Right. It's not the same statistic for men. So they don't feel that pressure that women might feel.
There is a statistic for men. I think it's just not as out there as it is for women.
The statistic for men is what? Because they said Kevin might have to see a urologist.
A urologist, yeah.
There's might be something wrong if they've been having unprotected sex for a year.
Yeah, but they're not saying that there's no way, if Maria was Kevin's age, she wouldn't be able to get pregnant.
Yes, that's true. But here's where Kevin's sacrifice comes in and where he needs to be worried is because he's right. He's the one that's washing the dogs every day and doing all the home stuff. So his career really might go totally.
I think
is that the issue?
Absolutely, because he's just so loving and caring. He'll be the one 24 hours hands-on raising
Daddy
the baby.
and me classes.
Exactly.
I think for the two of them, like, they put 100% into everything they do.
Right.
And so it's like with parenting, they're going to put 100% into it. So they need to make sure that they're ready not to put 90% or 85%. Like a lot of people, when they decide to get pregnant, sometimes, the mom will say, well, I'm going to work part-time instead so I could stay home. And I think they just haven't really figured out how
they would balance
how to balance it.
Right.
Yes.
So we know what Kevin's gonna be like totally hands-on, but do you see Maria like going part-time if she had a baby? Do you see her really being able to stay at home and not being like, oh my god, what's going on out there, I want to go do something, like if she had a baby?
Can I chime in?
I think
I'll let Joe speak, but then after Joe I want my turn.
Okay, Joe first, and then Phil in the booth, who's incredibly close with them as well, obviously. So Joe, go ahead.
I think she could say whatever, but if she has a baby, I know things will slow down because she's just, she's going to take care of it, and,
of course,
she's going to be there hands-on, regardless as to what she says. I know for a fact that she, every step of the way, But Kevin, he'll do the same, but when the baby's sleeping, he'll be up 24 hours. Then he'd be doing his own thing, right? Looking over it, right? Exactly, typing.
Right. Do you think that if Kevin was to say, then, you know what, I'm in, let's do this, Maria would say, me too?
Absolutely. And you know what?
Interesting.
Yeah. I'll leave this.
Leaving us hanging, Joe.
Sorry.
I gotta hear from you, Phil. We gotta know what you're thinking.
Phil in the booth.
Phil in the booth, Phil.
All right, guys. Well, no, here from kind of my observations of it all is, they're such risk takers in the sense that they want to accomplish so much and so fast, and they're so successful at doing so, that to have a kid really kind of hinders that, because you can't take as many risks, you know what I mean? Whereas just even today, we had like 3 deals that are great opportunities, and hey, we'll need them next week. But as we know, Maria's promoting this reality show right now in New York, but we're like, okay, we can fit Maria in at 3 a.m. to do this. When you have a kid, that doesn't become possible.
Right.
Well, I mean, it would be physically possible because they have created such a network out here for themselves. But when you're as hands-on as a thing with them as they are with everybody that they deal with, then it isn't quite possible.
Well, see, I think they would just get a big van, right? And here's what happens. Joe would have the backpack where the baby would be.
Absolutely pushing the carriage.
Lisa would be in the back feeding her the little Gerber.
Of course.
Costa would be putting his shoes on.
Yeah, entertaining him.
Absolutely, we need to see that. Maybe season 2, guys.
Oh my God, the christening party for that would be everything.
Well, Costa says that he goes, "I'll give you 1 year." What is that deadline?
To be in business, he was not joking. 1 year, and then it's almost like he dropped the mic. 1 year and walked away.
Conversation's over.
Bam! Joe, I wanted to ask you about this too, because we see you tonight not as much with Maria, but more with Kevin, and you're sitting there saying to him that that's not fair, that he shouldn't have to deal with this extra burden. And I'm wondering, do you ever kind of feel torn between Maria and Kevin, like you're put in the middle, or
On a daily basis. To be honest,
nodding
seriously.
your head no, but the words were yes.
Absolutely. And I think you might see.
A little
touch
more.
of, yeah,
A little something?
Because if I was Maria, I'd go to Joe and be like, Joe, just talk to him, please.
Yeah.
Just tell him, right? And that happens. Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, but how
All
does
right.
that affect how you what you give as advice to them? Are you not going
Think
all the
before
way?
you speak. I gotta really to say, okay, advise them the best I can, and
But what is your actual opinion on whether
Right, because
they should?
you're Maria's security guard.
Right.
But you're Kevin's best friend.
Right.
So on both sides of that, there has to be 2 totally different types of loyalty.
And looking out for, yeah.
So when or how do you
would
approach
think,
that situation?
No, you would think, but I've known Maria for 16 years. She's like my sister. I love her to death. I've known Kevin for over 20 years. He's my brother. So it's hard for me to take sides because, I love them both, and I don't favor either one. If Kevin's wrong, and I'll take Maria's side, but if she's wrong, I'll take his.
Joe, do you wish she got pregnant tomorrow? Do you want her to have a baby?
Yeah, I want to be Uncle Joe.
There you go. Aw.
Speaking about where Joe stands with different people, we did do something a little fun for you guys.
We
before the show.
found a street fighter in Boston. Look at you.
I know.
In my younger days.
But we're looking at you as this eligible bachelor now.
Yeah. There's things we didn't know.
You're in the spotlight. You're all famous. You're too good for us at this point. So we wanted to know, who was your dream girl? What type of girl is your dream girl? So we actually had him go online and take this quiz, and maybe you can tell us what your results were.
Well, now according to this, all right?
Wait.
Just the quiz.
But wait, who's the actress that popped up on there?
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten
I think
Dunst.
Oh, is that
Who
valid?
I happen to like.
I
Seriously, honestly.
I knew it. I was like, this is so Joe.
So if you are listening, Kirsten
Well,
Dunst.
according to this, it says I'd fall for the cutie. You like girls with a personality. She's got to have a nice smile and a sense of humor.
I'm melting.
Although she doesn't have to be a model, she has to be the girl next door.
That's so you, Joe.
Joe.
So
Seriously.
If that is
So,
you,
if you're out there,
Hit up Joe, right?
Well, now that you have a Twitter, what's your
Now we
Twitter?
have a platform for you, Joe.
at Joe Big Time 1.
Big time, ladies.
Yeah,
No, Joe,
At Joe Big Time.
Can we get Joe a Snapchat? Do you have Snapchat?
That's so
Oh
dangerous.
my gosh.
Get scared.
I'm almost thinking more like a Tinder.
No.
No.
Yeah, for sure.
Joe's too good for
Everyone's
Tinder.
Okay, what do you have
Tinder's-
problem with people on Tinder?
No, I'm
not
just
even-
saying he's like this, this TV star
You
now.
are. You are.
Like,
You're a star.
There are stars on Tinder. Eric Stone Street's on Tinder.
Who is that?
Isn't
he married?
Modern Family.
I thought he was
Wait,
married.
but I'm wondering, Joe, how are you thinking that this is going to affect your life now? So this aired tonight.
Yes.
You have not left this building since this aired.
No.
Once you leave here, you're no longer the bodyguard.
Your shirt's
You're no
being ripped
longer
off.
the best friend. You are now a TV star.
Yeah, you're
You're
very
Joe
recognizable.
Big Time.
You're very recognizable.
Big time
so
one,
they're
baby.
gonna
Joe Big Time 1.
But who says I'm leaving here?
I'm sleeping on the couch. Couch is pretty comfy.
Joe, because I've
point.
seen you for a long time before
Yeah.
I really became friends with Maria and Kevin. Like in the Getty images, the paparazzi shots, you're always right there in the background. I see you all the time. I'm like, who is this dude? So it's just begun. Now there's a face with the name, and
Now everyone's going to be wondering.
now everyone knows you're single. And
Well,
you
I don't
want
know if you
Chris
happen to
Kirsten
see me
Dunst.
on Ellen. You know.
We did. Featured on Ellen.
Amazing. I wonder, is this fame ever something that you have wanted, or it just now has come with the territory?
I just roll with things. It won't change me a bit. Seriously, I am who I am, and I just roll with these guys. Okay, we're doing a reality show. All right, yeah, great. We're going to Greece. Oh, yeah, all right. We're going to wash the car. All right. You know what I mean?
You're just down for the cause.
I'm down for the cause, and like I said, it won't change me a bit.
Okay.
Back in your street fighting days, did you ever back in Boston? Did you ever foresee fast
No.
forward 20 years, you'd be in the spotlight in Hollywood and
I was a street fighter. My dreams weren't very big at the time. It was just
Joe,
fight.
what does that mean?
Yeah,
what
what
did you
is a street fighter?
what did you do?
like the video
I
game.
just
for fun?
fought a lot.
For
yeah,
fun?
right. Wow. Just for the hell of it, you know.
And so, what better position than to be the security guard?
almost said that.
Don't mess with him.
I'm security
Why?
for a reason,
Can we
you know.
please?
Okay, I don't care what secret's going on here. It's coming out.
Jesse!
It's coming out.
No,
Jesse,
it's not
Steph?
coming out. Go.
It's not coming out because Kevin will get mad at me.
Okay, whatever. Then I'll move on.
Okay, no, we're just talking about fighting past, but let's talk about now. Do you ever?
Great segue, Stephanie.
Joe, I used to be pretty tough in my old
She
days.
was a
So,
little cookie.
can we talk about now? Do you ever have to your job specifically is to protect Maria? I'm always curious. Do you ever do fans get out of line with her,
Yeah.
because she's on Extra and the fans are right behind her, taking pictures or whatever. And now at Universal, they're right behind her. They were at the Grove, and now do the guys especially want to get closer because she gives off such a vibe that she's approachable.
Right, yeah.
So
Exactly. That's
does
the scary part of it
backfire?
because there's been a couple. One guy was crazy. He traveled from Tennessee,
What?
someplace hitchhike, not even with a plane ticket. I mean, and this guy was serious stalker.
What happened?
So-
What did you do?
Well, we had to deal with it, accordingly. He
what
lunged
does
at
that
her.
mean,
And,
deal?
you and
I don't
Kevin.
know.
It's we had to deal with
Yeah.
it.
Well,
It was
The
dealt
mafia
with.
over here.
well, he lunged at her. And
my gosh.
And it just happened to spot him outside. We were at the movies or something like that, and I don't know how he knew she was going to be there, but yeah, I wound up talking to him because he just looked out of place and weird. And
Aye.
sure enough, we get inside, and
AfterBuzz
And
TV.
these-
Is that
exclusive.
something, she's already had those kind of stalkerish people. Is that something that you guys really had to think about and were kind of nervous about with putting everything out there on the show?
Yeah.
absolutely. And precautions have been made. So don't get any ideas, people.
Yeah.
But that was even before
They just
social
installed the
media,
moat.
I'm sure, right? So now with
Yeah,
social media, when she's like,
absolutely.
oh, here, I'm there, I'm here, I'm there.
Now she's more accessible.
They know exactly who she is. I want to talk about what's going to go on the rest of the season, though, because I know we almost have to wrap. So let's get into some predictions.
Well, I
from what we
really
see.
And now,
Oh, you
Change
fancy.
the whole studio lights up in here.
Right.
I really wanted to know from Joe what scene you're most excited for everyone to see.
Oh, if you can tell us, or what is the topic of it?
Yeah, the topic.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what I can say and what I can't.
What can we look forward to? Is it going to be about the baby? Is it going to be about the wedding? Is it going to be about
Wrestling. Is it going to
Yeah.
be about the parents?
The wrestling.
Okay, so
I'd
that's
say,
your most
yeah,
excited.
yeah.
We're excited about the wrestling. We know
Yes.
she's such a huge WWE person, and
Right.
that's awesome. I'm excited to see that. We also see some weird budget issue things, which could be weird because we know that a lot that money goes right here.
So subscribe to us on iTunes. Please support us. Make Maria happy.
Exactly.
Nice.
It is always a struggle, but it's so bizarre how the overlap between this show and this network. I love it. But what were you guys most excited to see? So we're seeing all these things. We're seeing the voice surgery. What we see something go really wrong with Costa, and he's sick, and we hear them say that if he keeps going that way, he's going to die. I mean, that's not an exciting thing to see, but it sure is hell is important.
Drama, yeah.
Yeah. What were you guys looking forward to? Or
I thought the voice thing was really interesting. Like all of us as hosts and, in this industry, it's definitely something that you don't always think about. So I think that'll be a really interesting storyline to follow.
Yeah.
yeah, is it strange for you watching this whole thing about being a host and being like the pregnancy and all of
Yes.
this? Because you have your personal connection, so must be kind of weird.
Story of my life.
So you're a
No, it's
resident.
really cool. I mean, I could definitely relate to all of the pressures and things that she went through. So it's really cool for me to follow along with that.
Cool. Very cool. What are you looking
For
forward
me, I'm
to,
most
Steph?
excited. I know they've been teasing it a little, not so much in this promo, but Maria's been on Wendy Williams and the Today Show, everything, talking about, people are asking her, why didn't you get married in the beginning? Like, why didn't you guys just do it when you could? And she goes, we wanted to, and we couldn't when we didn't. Like, when we could have, we didn't. And so now we can't. I really want to know what happened then. I know they're going to get into it, probably some old pictures, talking about the living in the basement thing. I really want to see what happened back in the day that they couldn't get married because the parents know, and obviously all that's a bunch of drama. But I'm just interested to see that.
Absolutely. Jesse?
I'm excited to see this whole situation with Maria and Kevin's mom.
I forgot. I didn't know that. So I didn't
so
know that
much
was
tea
Kevin's
right
mom.
there, and that is woo!
Well, so we hear that Kevin's get mad at Maria because on air she apparently made fun of Kevin's mom, and she says, Kevin, you do that all the time, and Kevin says, not on air. That's what we see in the preview. I mean, guys.
And it wasn't even as much like making fun of. She was basically calling out the mom for always saying, you never mentioned Kevin, because she's like, a bigger, well-known star than Kevin.
And she did an imitation, imitated her voice.
And I love tea on reality shows, but this is, now that we know them, that's
like,
real tea.
It gets better.
I can't wait to see that. And I'm excited because just to see AfterBuzz. Like, I'm
I
just
know.
excited to see
That's going to be
that
really
we
cool.
finally have made it to a platform and
Yeah.
that Maria's
Nice.
carried
Well,
us
a
there.
TV platform. We already have a huge platform here at AfterBuzz.
yes.
But yeah, no, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean. I'm really excited for the rest of the season. And
And the AfterBuzz TV pool party.
and
The pool party. There's a pool
coming up.
party
We-
that gets really crazy.
One of Kevin and Maria was in support of the pool party. The other might not have known about it so much. So
And Joe and the guys did some bad things. I wonder if they're going to put that on TV.
Well, they showed a clip of it.
Papa.
Quote me as saying, I tried to prevent all
Yes.
that from happening.
I remember, yeah.
we know. But we
Direct
have,
quote.
okay, so I know we did our little quiz with Joe, but we have something else fun that we kind of want to do with you guys. So you guys are the best fans ever. AfterBuzz fans, Maria fans, now Chasing Maria Menounos fans, even Joe fans now. You got your own
big
fans.
time.
We really want to do something really fun about, Maria's laugh. Of course you do. Typical. We want you guys to record your own laughs, your unique, amazing, fabulous, funny, hysterical laughs, and send them in to us on Instagram and on Twitter and whatever it is, however you can get it to us. To any of us hosts, we'll plug ourselves in a little bit so you can find us. And we are going to pick at the end of the season the best, most unique, awesome laugh, and we will send you a special prize, which we can't reveal now, but we will reveal later. I'm really freaking excited.
I'm
for
excited
these
for
guys.
this, but they didn't. She actually didn't laugh on this.
I know,
episode.
but she
did a
here's the
few
thing.
light ones.
Okay,
She did light
Google
ones.
any
Light, yeah.
episode or any interview with any celebrity, and she does it, and they freak. They're like, "That laugh? Are you serious,
I
girl?"
know. I know. In her direct to camera, she does it low key, but we know predictions wise, we're gonna definitely see a
lot more
of
of
that.
that.
Of
Yeah.
course, you don't get Maria without the laugh.
Listen to a good Howard Stern episode. He goes in on it.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Okay,
does.
so guys, if we want to keep the conversation going with you, where can we find you? Because I know fans are going to want to be talking about this. Jessica.
Find me on Twitter at I am Jessica King.
Steph Bauer TV.
At DJ Jesse J.
You can find me at Roxy Striar. And Joe, one more time, where can we find you?
Joe Big Time 1.
Next
Got
time-
that, ladies?
Yeah, seriously, ladies. And of course, at AfterBuzz TV or on iTunes, rate, comment, subscribe. On YouTube, write comments. We will read them. We will write back to you. We love you guys so much. And until next week, same time, same place. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.